Hey everybody, this is Jordan McCollum with the Crohn's Veteran Podcast. I am so happy and so honored to have a very special guest, Jennifer Aguirre,
Yes.
bodybuilder here in Las Vegas. Jennifer, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Doing fantastic. For those folks that don't know, I actually met Jennifer through a really unique way. I have a dog, and one of my dog park buddies is also a bodybuilder, and they were very kind enough to introduce me to Jennifer to hear your story and to and to just learn more about what you do. And so, first off, I'm curious, what is your story with Crohn's disease? So, like, kind of for the people that don't know, kind of just start us from the beginning.
Okay. So I have, my story is on my website. I have like a pretty traumatic childhood, but there was a lot that I went through from teenage years. I was 19 years old is when I really started getting sick all the time, to the point where like my cousin was like, "You're sick all the time, why don't you go to the doctor?" And I did, and for 2 years they just kept telling me, "It's stress, it's your life, it's this, it's that."
Mm-hmm.
So they just kind of blew me off. And then finally at 21, my doctor said, "I'm going to send you to a gastroenterologist and we're going to get you tested." So they did a colonoscopy and an upper GI, and that was when I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. They put me on medication, and from 21 to 23, I was on a bunch of different medication. I was still getting sick. You know, if I had an attack, I would be in the hospital on an IV. Then I was diagnosed with colitis, like in between then. So I have Crohn's and colitis. And then a lot of traumatic things happened in my life. I was beat up by my ex-boyfriend, and a lot. And so we won't get into that.
Right.
But basically it led to me being really sick and having a nervous breakdown at 23 years old. I checked myself into a psych ward. I got out of the hospital and I completely stopped, turned my life around, and I cold turkey stopped all the medication for Crohn's, got certified in personal training, and within like 3 months of me being a trainer, I had a sports nutrition certification, CPT, older adult, youth, pre and postnatal, and I just tried to I spent every moment that I wasn't working, because I got a job at New York Sports Club, I was learning, and I was reading up on like blood type dieting, metabolic dieting, just how the gut works,
Right.
and I basically got myself into remission. So I haven't been on medication since I'm 46 now, so since I was 23 years old. The last time I was hospitalized was like 9 years ago, so I've had little mini attacks. Usually it's like triggers for me are dehydration. If I don't go to the bathroom, which if you know Crohn's disease, you go to the bathroom a lot,
Right.
but if I don't go, it'll trigger an attack. Stress, food sensitivities, but that's basically the history of it, and then we'll go more into depth on other things once you ask me more questions.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. So I mean, so you're trying to figure out all these things, and so what were the? So what was your like kind of specific symptoms that that you were going through?
Blood, massive, like we're talking. So now I have 2 boys. My first son is biologically mine, and my second son is adopted. So I can vouch that they say Crohn's attacks are worse than labor pains, and they completely 100% are. So it's like stabbing pain all the time after I ate, like couldn't breathe, my esophagus would get all hot, my throat would get hot. But like the stabbing pain was the worst. It's like screaming and you can't do anything about it, you can't breathe out of it. You could try meditation style things, and sometimes it would work, but never. I mean, I tried not to go to the hospital because that hospital bill is super high, even with insurance. So, I mean, there was times that I would have an attack for like 8 hours and I would not go to the hospital, and then other times I would just give up and go.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so I mean, there was a year when I had my second surgery that I think I went to the hospital like 4 times, I think, that year for just that pain. And like I said, like most people, you try to resist that, and some folks are like, man, yeah, you just try to really resist the urge to go, but I had to, and so I ended up getting surgeries and stuff, and so, but it's just part of having that condition. And so what was maybe the first breakthrough solution that you had for yourself?
I just changed my diet. That was the first thing. So like doing all the research on different foods that are very inflammatory. So I would eat so when I first started, now I eat 5 meals, but when I first started and did all my research, I literally would eat like 11 times a day, and they were small meals.
Oh, wow.
And it was maybe like 2 or 3 different foods. Like oatmeal was like the only thing that I could eat. I did eggs, chicken, and salmon, and that was it. And I would do small servings of it. So I would do a 1/4 cup of oatmeal with like my first 8 meals. And then I never ate raw vegetables, so I would only eat like spinach that was sauteed. Certain vegetables were really bad for my stomach, so right now I don't do any greens at all. I just do like a greens powder, because I can't, greens will like I'll look like I'm 5 months pregnant within like 2 minutes of eating it. So like for me, it was just about small meals and like food. And this is what I teach even to my clients, like food is energy, it's not entertainment. So like when I got really sick and I'm like, okay, nutrition is really what's gonna save me. I ate for energy. Like I would just I would be eating once an hour, but I wasn't in pain. I didn't have stomach aches. I was eating all these small meals, so I wasn't stressing my gut up too much because they're small meals. I was getting enough calories to be able to like function during the day, because I was working as at the front desk, and within 3 months I started training, and then I was literally training from 5 in the morning until 12. Then I would do my workout. Then I got a job at the school that certified me, so I did admin work. Then I would go back to the gym and train clients at night. I did Saturday and Sunday all day, and then some days when I wasn't doing admin work, or on the weekends, if I wasn't training clients, I was at the bookstore. So then I would just bring all my little meals with me, and every chance I got, I didn't own a TV for 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Because I just spent a lot of time working on this and then working on this. So I truly believe the best remedy, and not to cure, but to put it at bay, is like mental clarity, reducing stress in your life, and 100% food. I mean, if I could say 100, 100, 100, it would be all 100 of those.
Like, I know that a lot.
Yeah.
And so just the the mental stuff. Like my mom, as an example, would say, like your environment's stronger than your will.
Yes.
And so you have to get yourself in the right environment, whether that's people or place or the things or whatever around you, systematically, because then you have the actual bandwidth to actually make your life better.
Yeah.
And
that might mean like cutting people out of your life, even if they are family. But if they're toxic and if all they're doing is making you sick, I mean, unfortunately, they gotta go.
Yes.
Your health is more important.
Having different relationships with people.
Yes. Or none.
Right. Which is still different.
Right.
So exactly. And so 20 years later, so what are some of the things that you do? So have you had clients that have had Crohn's and IBD, and not to give people medical advice or anything, is there anything in general that you tell them to try to improve their own lives?
So I'll get people that reach out to me on social media a lot, asking me questions. Some that can afford to work with me will hire me. I know you mentioned I'm a bodybuilder, and I am. Like I am a bodybuilder, but I don't coach bodybuilders. So like Chelsea has worked, that's who introduced us. She works with bodybuilders. Like I don't. I've never put anybody on stage. I never will. I have competed. I don't compete anymore. I'm completely retired. I just like to look like this, and I know that what I look like scares away can potentially scare away my clientele, but I work with people that are either sick, have diabetes, have Crohn's disease, have disc herniations, because I have a herniated disc. So to answer your question, I've had people reach out to me, and if they can't afford to work with me, where I can actually put them on a plan and we can work through food symptoms, they send me daily check-ins, and they're writing down notes in their food log that they send me every night. The advice, usually what I say is, like dairy, acid, vinegar, nuts, and like sauces and stuff, try to stay away from those completely. And then the first thing to do is like try to like eat the same thing. And then if you want to introduce a food, introduce one food like every few days. And then if your stomach can take it, then boom, then that food is good. Then introduce another food. So like it's about slowly figuring out. Alcohol, horrible. I tell them to stay away from alcohol. And so like that would be like the advice that I would give to somebody. And then if I was working with somebody, I would write out a plan designed. And then it sometimes changes. Like even with me, throughout all the years, I went from eating 11 times a day to then 8 to 6, and now I do 5. Back in the day, I was able to eat salmon and eggs and chicken. I don't eat any of those anymore.
So would you call yourself like a vegan, like vegan now?
I do ground turkey and steak.
Okay.
So those are the only two proteins that I can eat, but I eat 180 grams of protein a day. And it's from, I have my first 2 meals are steak and my middle 2 meals are ground turkey.
Oh, wow.
And then I wasn't able to eat rice. All my carbs came from, back then, like oatmeal or potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just rice. And then just now, recently, after 2 years of not eating, or 3 years of not eating a potato, I just introduced potatoes into one meal. So it's like steak, rice, and potatoes, regular white potatoes that I put in the oven, and that's it. So,
Interesting.
and my calories are very high for somebody, but with Crohn's disease, we don't absorb all of our nutrients, so it's like I'm eating more than somebody my size would eat. But yeah, so like things change, and then this is also what I tell people that I work with. It's like what I start you out with might not be the same, throughout the whole process. Because our bodies, once every like few years, I develop a food sensitivity to something, and then I just make a change.
Good to know.
Yeah.
So you gotta get my education. So what would you say has been your greatest professional accomplishment so far? What are you most proud of?
That I get to work with people all over the world. Like I have a client right now in Singapore,
Awesome.
and I worked with a guy in the Philippines for 2 years. I mean, to work with people all over the world when I got my first international client, that was like amazing to me. My greatest moment, probably, and it's crazy that we're having this interview today when this literally just happened last week. I had a client that wrote a testimonial about me, and I could not stop crying for an hour.
Wow.
And I posted, she's on my Instagram, she's pinned, so I have like 3 pinned client before and after pictures. Not really after, it's never really an after picture if you really think about it. But I have her picture and her testimonial, and it's pinned, and it's by far the best testimonial that anybody has ever written about me, and it's what I want to be known for. It's like what I've done for her life, what her mentality has changed, not just what's you're looking at, it's what she wrote. So that moment, that reading that testimonial, that was probably better than when I got my first international client.
Well, golf clap for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's I mean, it's the reason we do these things.
Yeah.
I remember, to me, like I have a little podcast and I have a small footprint and stuff like that. And I was at a health conference here in Las Vegas at the Venetian, and this lady that I was kind of at this booth with, she looked at me and said like, "Do I know you? You look familiar." And she was like, "You're Jordan, from the CrossFit Veteran podcast."
Oh my God, that's awesome.
I googled, trying to find people, and so the whole purpose of trying to serve my community worked.
Right.
Yep. So it is awesome.
Yeah.
So how about in the future? Is there any goals or things that you want to accomplish that you haven't gotten there yet?
Well, I just recently hired a business coach because I want to get a bigger reach.
Mm-hmm.
So like I've hired business coaches throughout the years. I've been doing this for 23 years. My ex-husband and I own this studio,
Mm-hmm.
and then I do online coaching. He doesn't really do online coaching. So for me, it's like I want to reach more people, and I just don't know how to do it now because things change.
Right.
Like everything changes, marketing changes, all that stuff. So for me, it's like I just want to reach more people. I would love to work with at least another 20 or 30 more people, and then I have my own personal goals. I really would love to go on a vacation.
We're just talking about that.
Yeah, I would love to go on a vacation. I would love to buy a second house and rent out the one that I'm in. I would love to take my kids on more vacations over the weekend.
Awesome.
But primarily, like right now, literally, I just hired them. This is my first week with the new coach, and that's literally because I want to work with more. 90% of my clients have some kind of issue. Everybody I feel like is emotionally connected to food. I have a few that have mastered their coping skills, like I've mastered mine. Like a couple of my guys that they've lost weight and now they want to get jacked, and they work with me for that.
Right.
But I do want to. I really want to get to more people that have aggressive weight loss goals. I have a client that just hit 150 pounds down. She's still with me, been with me for a little over a year. those are the kind of clients that I want. I always say if I have, and this is a reason why I don't coach people for shows, if I have 50 slots to fill, I want it to be 50 miserable people that I can show them what they're capable of.
Right, and kind of bring that light out.
Yes, I do not want to work with somebody to put them on stage. I mean, I've never cared about the stage. I just so happen to, I'm blessed with Crohn. This is what I say. I'm blessed with Crohn's disease because it keeps me in check because I have to eat a certain way,
Right.
and it keeps me healthy. And then I just have been in shape enough and have this crazy mentality of the way that I train and all that other stuff and what I personally want to look like. But it's never been about the stage. I don't care what anybody tells me what I should look like or anything like that. And I don't want to coach people for that. I want to coach people that are like sad or laying in the couch because they think that they can't move because they have a herniated disc or they're in pain every day they get up, they have a stomach ache.
That's where I'm coming from with Crohn's veteran is that, I want people out there to see, people like you and to know Jennifer's story, to know that, hey, or a guy like me, Jordan, the IT guy, family guy, and just that I have Crohn's disease and it's still possible.
To live the life that you want.
Exactly. You may have to adjust, but.
And it'll take time.
Yeah.
But look, you got recognized.
Right.
So.
Anything that's worth doing is usually not easy.
No, it's never easy. Yeah.
And so, and to me, like Crohn's has given me I remember when I got my medicine and I started actually feeling better and stuff like that. I was like, man, it's possible.
Yeah.
And to me, Crohn's just gives you almost, sometimes it can give you this kind of inner resiliency.
Yeah.
To where to me that's why I think that's why I call Crohn's veterans, because everybody who has this disease or this condition is a veteran. You've earned your stripes, you have the medals, and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And I really do believe that, because behind working out or taking care of your family or all these things, sometimes you're still dealing. You still have to eat a certain way. You still have to do all this stuff, and people don't usually get to see that. And so so this is why I do this. And so it's kind of a little bit behind the scenes.
I love it because this is what I want to be known for. I could be on a million YouTube videos working out and pushing and letting people see me not quit, but ultimately I want people to know that I have a herniated disc, I have Crohn's disease, I'm in remission, and I live the life I want to live, and I'm unbelievably happy with my life, and you can too.
So great on that. And so you're talking about your business partners, and so is there anything special that you would like to, any people or projects or anything that you want to shout out or make the people aware of, for support?
I have a bunch of spots. They can just follow me, and then I'm constantly acknowledging everybody that's in my life. If I have a friend, I just posted him on my Instagram, so I could shout him out so people could follow him. And anybody that, for me, I want everybody to be successful. I want to lift everybody up, and if I can help in some way, shape, or form, there's a friend at the gym that's competing, and I know the struggle of the peak week or the last 2 weeks. So it's I'll send him a message every single day. I don't like him. I'm just sending him love because I know he needs it right now. So anybody that I feel, they can just follow me on my social media platforms. And if anybody is struggling and they need a coach, obviously this is what I specialize in. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think we'll wrap it up. Everybody out there, if you found value in this, if you really resonate with Jen's story, please of course follow her. Subscribe to the podcast. Follow us on you can follow me on LinkedIn if you want to reach out to me directly about Crohn's or business stuff or any of that kind of thing. You can reach out to me at jordan@crohnsveteran.com. This podcast is going to be coming out real soon. I really appreciate you guys for listening. Jennifer, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. And I hope you guys found some kind of fire in your belly that's hopefully not going to be in pain soon.
Definitely. Definitely. Cheers.
Love it.